So Kim Mulkey is the coach of LSU, and, she says things, and she gets the people worked up about the things she says. And I'm watching last night, and I'm thinking maybe people should get worked up for the way she coaches. Caitlin Clark's the one person you have to stop, and they didn't at all. 41 points, 12 assists. She scored or assisted on 67 of 94 Iowa points. I'm looking at field goal percentage. I'm looking at three-point percentage. And then it really hit me. People tried to stop MJ, too, and Messi, and Ronaldo. And people tried to beat Federer in his prime, and Serena. You don't. That's what you can't do. LSU, and they've got really good players, but they had to work for their points. Like even stars have to do in the NBA. But I can remember sitting on a couch years and years and years ago and watching the Suns and the Chicago Bulls NBA final. And I was sitting with a friend, and I said, Michael doesn't have the best jumper. Michael's not the strongest player. He's not the best ball handler. Why is he so much better at 6'6" than everybody else? It looks so much easier. And I feel that with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes isn't the biggest guy or the strongest guy or the fastest guy. Why does it look so easy for him? That's what superstars look like. Messi's not very big. He's not the straight line fastest player. Why is it so easy for him? Why does he humiliate other really good players? Maybe it's not about LSU's Kim Mulkey having an off night coaching. Maybe it's Caitlin Clark. I remember the Ravens losing this past year to Kansas City in the AFC Championship, and I thought, run the ball. That's bad coaching. That's bad coaching. Run the ball. That wasn't what I saw last night. Caitlin Clark beat LSU off the dribble every single time. But that's what Steph does in the NBA. People have been trying to stop Steph, and in his 7 to 8 year prime, it just didn't matter. Steph always got great shots. He had off nights. Caitlin doesn't have a lot. The game itself was fast, fun, and fluid. And women's college basketball doesn't look like this 25, 30 years ago. In the NBA in the 70s, Dr. J could do stuff that nobody could do today. He was that great, that acrobatic. But women's college basketball in the 70s, 80s wasn't this big, fast, physical. The passing wasn't as clever, and it's something to behold. That's why the ratings are moving up. It's just a better product. But it is largely driven by Caitlin Clark. And I'm sitting there watching it last night, and I'm like, it's so effortless. It's like that's what Steph Curry looked like at Davidson. People knew he was good. They had film. They had tape. They tried to stop him. All this technology's not brand new. LSU is loaded, all sorts of depth and talent and size. I guess you can try trapping, but her head is up. She's a walking highlight. She's constantly in movement like Steph Curry. Everybody's got a solution on how to stop Patrick Mahomes, and nobody can, ever. Kobe scored 60 on his last night. You don't think people for years devised traps and plans to stop Kobe? You can't stop all-time greats. They're just going to get theirs. And what Caitlin Clark does, she not only gets hers, but she gets everybody else involved. Not all superstars are unselfish. LeBron and Magic, very unselfish. Sometimes Kobe can be a little selfish. Caitlin Clark really isn't. But I'm watching last night, I'm thinking, come on, do a better job. Trap, get it out of her hands. She reads it before it happens. Very Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky saw things before they transpired. It's like Steve Jobs. He saw that you needed the iPhone before you had the iPhone. And I'm watching Caitlin Clark. Good luck trapping her. She can see it coming. She reads it quickly, like a great quarterback. She can see the zone. She knows where it's going. She can see it before you're doing it. And the reality is I watched it and I thought, boy, I don't know. I mean, Gino Auriemma, who's had the dominant college women's basketball program for 20 years, he thinks she's the best player he's ever seen. Well, he had Maya Moore, who I thought, next to Cheryl Miller, was the best player I've ever seen. So when I watched her, I felt like this is like Steph in the prime. This is like Gretzky in the prime. You can try all the traps, try all the coaching. You know, Gonzaga's got good coaches. They couldn't stop Zach Edey. The great ones you can't stop. There's nothing you can do. And the bigger the game, the better Caitlin Clark is. And here's how you coach against Caitlin Clark. Here's how you... These coaches know what they're doing. I mean, hasn't Kim Mulkey won national championships at 2 different programs? When Gino Auriemma's like, Yeah, that's the best player I've ever seen. Okay, look, he has the best players in the WNBA. If he says it, I believe it. All right, Sean Payton, one of the reasons I always liked Sean Payton, he was a guest on my show a couple years ago every Monday. And the reason I liked him, he wasn't a cliche machine. He was honest. What do you want your coach to be? A straight shooter or a BSer? And Sean Payton has been very critical through the years of players. Not all the time. He loved Drew Brees. But Russell Wilson wore him out. Russell gets sacked a lot. The downside to small quarterbacks really isn't the injuries. By the way, Trevor Lawrence is 6'6", got hurt last year. Justin Herbert, 6'5.5", he got hurt. Carson Wentz, Matt Stafford, big dudes get hurt. All quarterbacks get hurt. The number one issue is small quarterbacks struggle to see over 6'6.5" offensive linemen. Tua in Miami has admitted, I can't see everything. Russell Wilson's sack data illuminates maybe why he threw the deep ball so much. He threw it over the defense because he couldn't often read the middle of the field. He's on pace, is Russell, to be the most sacked quarterback in league history. In fact, since he entered the league, he's been sacked 112 times more than the next quarterback, and Denver did not have a bad offensive line. It's the first thing Sean Payton fixed. PFF had him at 7th. When he was a Seahawk, he was the most sacked quarterback in the league. Last 2 years in Denver, he's been the most sacked quarterback in the league. And ask any fan, nothing kills a drive like a holding penalty or a sack. In fact, last season, the least sacked quarterback, and by the way, he hasn't had a great O-line, 6'6" Josh Allen. Over the last 5 years, here's 3 quarterbacks who get sacked as much or more than anybody. Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, and Baker Mayfield. Steeler fans, I think you have upgraded at quarterback, but get ready for some 3rd and 13s and 3rd and 15s. That's what drove Sean Payton crazy. It's not the injuries. Russell hasn't been hurt that much. He really hasn't. It's not the injuries. Average offensive lineman, people are getting bigger, 6'7". Best tackle in this draft, 6'7.5". Russell's 5'11.5". Tua admits it. Kyler said it. You got to move around. You got to create lanes. Sean Payton's not a cliche machine. Thank God. And Steeler fans, you'll be better at quarterback, but you'll also at various times next year be frustrated with your quarterback.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.